If you're somewhere between 55 and 85, you probably know this truth better than anyone else. Not everything in life needs to be said out loud. We spend our younger years learning to speak up for ourselves, but in our later years, we learn that sometimes the greatest peace comes from holding certain things close to our chest. Today, let's walk through 7 things you should never share with anyone, not because you have something to hide, but because you have something precious to protect. Your peace of mind, your dignity, and the freedom to live life on your terms. Number 1, age. Let's start with that simple question people love to ask. How old are you now? For some, answering feels innocent enough, but once that number is out, people rarely forget it. And sadly, they start tying all sorts of expectations and judgments to it. Maybe they see the number 70 or 80 and think, well, she shouldn't be driving so far alone anymore, or he probably can't handle that job around the house. It's unfair, but it happens every day. Take Mr. Phillips down the street. He's 82, still mows his own lawn, climbs a ladder when he wants to fix the gutters, and loves fishing trips with his grandson. But he told me, the moment people find out his age, they look at him with worried eyes. They tell him to sit down, take it easy, as if he's a fragile vase about to tip over. He hates that. So now when someone asks, he just smiles and says, old enough to know better, and young enough to do something about it. He lets people see him for who he is, full of stories, laughter, and surprises. Not just a number. Number 2, money. Money is one of those topics people think they understand, but they never really do. Whether you have more than enough to live comfortably or you're stretching every dollar, once people find out your financial situation, it changes things. I remember a woman named Margaret who had quietly saved for years. When her husband passed, she sold a small property they'd owned together. Word got around that she had a nice nest egg now. Suddenly, family members she hadn't heard from in ages were inviting themselves over. Some hinted they might need help paying off debts. Others just assumed she'd cover dinners out. Margaret told me she felt like her bank account had become her identity. On the flip side, if folks think you're struggling, they might look at you with pity. Or worse, judge your life decisions without knowing the full story. The truth is, your money doesn't define your worth. What defines you is how you treat people, how you've loved, how you've shown up for your family and community. So whether you've got plenty or just enough to get by, keep the details between you and your trusted circle. Money talk draws attention, but a quiet wallet gives you freedom. Number 3, family secrets. If you've lived long enough, you know every family has its cracks. Siblings who don't speak for years, old grudges that flare up at weddings or funerals, children who make choices you wouldn't wish for them. But here's the thing, dragging those family stories into the outside world doesn't heal anything. It just gives gossipers something to chew on. Take the Jeffersons, 3 sisters in their 70s who fell out over an inheritance dispute. One sister, Ellen, started telling every neighbor how unfair the other 2 were, how they'd betrayed her. Did it fix the problem? No. It embarrassed everyone and turned the neighborhood into a circle of whispers. Meanwhile, the sisters she talked about felt hurt and shut out. Imagine if she'd kept that pain inside the family, sat down with them quietly, maybe with a cup of tea and some forgiveness. Some wounds do need time and privacy to mend. By keeping family secrets inside your 4 walls, you're not covering up shame, you're protecting the chance to heal, to talk things through when the dust settles, and to hold onto the bond that family can still give you, even when it's not perfect. Number 4, medications and health details. Now let's talk about something that touches all of us eventually, our health. Getting older often means new pills in the cabinet, new doctor appointments to keep, new aches that show up without warning. It can be tempting to talk about every detail with everyone. We want advice, maybe sympathy, but oversharing your medications and health problems can sometimes do more harm than good. People mean well, but suddenly you've got folks telling you about miracle cures they read about on the internet, or questioning your doctor's plan, or telling you what worked for their cousin's neighbor. And if you share every detail with casual friends or neighbors, they might start treating you like you're made of glass. Take Walt. He's 69, living with diabetes and mild heart disease. At first, he told everyone how many pills he was on and when he went to the hospital. But he noticed that friends stopped asking him to come fishing. They'd say, "Maybe you should rest today, Walt. You don't look so good." It made him feel small, like he was just his illnesses. Now he only talks about his health with people he trusts, his doctor, his wife, and his closest buddy who really understands. The rest, he keeps it light. He's learned that you deserve to be seen as a whole person, not a walking chart of prescriptions. Number 5, sexual life. Here's something people don't talk about enough. Intimacy doesn't disappear with age. In fact, for many older couples, it becomes even more meaningful, a deeper closeness, a way to feel young again. But that doesn't mean you should share those details with the world. Some things belong between you and the one you love. I think of Gloria and Frank, who've been together since their 20s. They're in their 70s now, and they found sweet ways to stay close, from cuddling during afternoon naps to holding hands on their evening walks. They don't brag about it or joke about it with neighbors, because that intimacy is sacred. It's the glue that's held them together through all life's storms. Sharing it carelessly can open you up to teasing, judgments, or just plain awkwardness. Protect that part of your life. Let the world see the love in your smiles, your small gestures, your laughter. But keep the most tender details for your hearts alone. Number 6, charity and honor. If you've done good in your life, given money to those in need, helped neighbors quietly, supported your church or community, you should feel proud. But true generosity doesn't need an audience. There's a saying, real charity is done with the right hand so quietly, the left hand doesn't even know about it. When you tell the world how much you've donated, or when you boast about your past successes, it can take away from the goodness of what you did. It can even make others feel small, like they're not doing enough. Think about Mr. Alvarez, a retired teacher who still tutors kids for free on weekends. He never tells anyone. Parents thank him privately. Kids grow up remembering his kindness, and that's enough. As for honor, the truth is, the older you get, the more you realize you don't need to shout about your achievements. The people who matter already know who you are. The neighbors who see you picking up trash on the sidewalk, the family who knows you always put them first. That's the legacy that sticks. Honor grows stronger when you let your actions speak and your words stay humble. Number 7, insults and past hurts. This one might be the heaviest. Life leaves scars on all of us. Mean words said by people we trusted. Humiliations we thought we'd never live down. Betrayals that still sting when we think about them. And sometimes we replay these moments over and over, telling friends, telling new people we meet, hoping someone will say, "You were right, they were wrong." But what does it really do? It keeps the wound open. I knew a man named Charles who never let go of how his brother cheated him out of their father's land. He told that story to everyone for decades. But Charles was the only one still hurting. His brother moved on, the land was sold, and Charles was left with a bitterness that turned his later years into a lonely place. One day, he told me he wished he'd just buried it long ago. There's freedom in not giving your past the power to define your present. You don't have to forget the pain, but you can decide to keep it private, let it lose its grip on you, one quiet day at a time. My friend, you've earned the right to live these years on your own terms. Not everything needs to be shared. Age, money, family secrets, your health, your sexual life, your good deeds and honor, and those old insults. Hold these close to your heart. Let people see your spirit, not your scars. Let them see your kindness, not your wallet. Let them see your love, not your bedroom, and let them feel your quiet strength, the kind that doesn't shout, but lives and breathes in the choices you make every day. If this spoke to you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you keep private to protect your peace? Drop a comment below and share your wisdom. You never know who you'll inspire. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Stay wise, stay gentle with yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.